Oh, hello there guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. I'm Adam McCullough. We are around the corner from Old Trafford and the team news is in. The team is as follows. Well, it's pretty much the same team that played against Sunderland at the weekend, except for Schmidfield in the middle. So we got David De Gea, Darmian, Valencia, Smalling and Daley Blind. Then we got Schweinsteiger, Schneiderlin, Mata, Memphis, Martial and Rooney just in behind Martial.
Smatter.
What do you make of that?
I mean, it's exactly...
Sorry, by the way, I'm with Paul.
Hello.
At United Rantcast.
Nice,
Hi, Paul.
nice to be here. I think that's a superb team. I think that's the team everyone picks, right? With given who's available and who's injured. The only one maybe you could say Young should play instead of Memphis, because Young's been playing well when he's come on, but he's a good impact sub to have.
Do you drop Memphis after he just got a goal? Or?
No, exactly, no way. And I think he is gradually holding onto the ball for less time, and that's what we want from Memphis.
But
But
do you think that's all it is? He just needs to release it quicker?
absolutely, I think he's just trying too hard, and it's understandable. There's a huge amount of pressure on him, and not everyone can have the ice cold water in their veins that Anthony Martial has.
William, what do you make of the team, mate?
It's a very strong side, so they put it up to win.
Yeah, keep talking about it. Go on. The same as Sunderland.
It's same as Sunderland. The Schneiderlin and Schweinsteiger is that. I think that's got a good link, and I also think the up front, which
Mata,
is
Rooney, Memphis, Martial.
yeah, I think that's a very strong attacking, goal thieving side.
Goal thieving.
Yeah.
We're going to steal some goals tonight then. The one man that I'm interested to see, obviously Anthony Martial. He's playing up top for Manchester United today. And I'm pleased that Louis van Gaal hasn't dropped him from a team unnecessarily. It's something that I always fear with Louis van Gaal, that he's just going to make a change that you don't expect.
He doesn't do it though. He makes some very odd in-game changes, but what he has almost never done is drop a player in form. When someone hits the team and impresses, even when Fellaini came on last season against West Brom, had a really good half, and that was it. He was in the team pretty much for the rest of the season. So he gives players a chance once they're playing well.
What kind of threats do you expect to get from Wolfsburg?
They're a really good side. I mean, they've had a couple of bad results in a row. So they drew at the weekend after their absolute hammering at the hands of Robert Lewandowski.
I mean, anyone can get handed like that by Bayern Munich.
Absolutely, but they're a really good side. I mean, you would say that Dante and Naldo are clearly vulnerable in the centre of defence, but they've got a very fine left back in Rodriguez, who I think is up there in the battle with Luke Shaw for probably the best in that position in Europe. It seems that their replacement for De Bruyne, who's Julian Draxler, has fitted into the side very well, particularly in the Champions League. He was extremely dangerous.
He's been linked
against
with
Moscow.
Arsenal for about 15 years, hasn't he? What do you make of Julian Draxler? Do you think he's their main man tonight?
I mean, I'm not sure he's necessarily their main man tonight, but he was definitely their main man against Moscow. Made more key passes than anyone else in the side, scored the goal. Every shot he had was on target. So he kind of ran the show that night.
I've not seen their confirmed team, which I'll get up in a second, but Luis Gustavo supposedly before the game was going to miss out on it. Now, how much of a miss will that be for them in the middle of the park?
Well, they adapted without Gustavo and sort of switched up from a 4-4-2 to a 4-1-4-1 against Hanover at the weekend. Can you tell I've done some research for this? I don't just know what this.
Thank God he did.
And Gustavo's a big miss, but they have got it's kind of a slightly more creative midfield without him, but less solid. So they drop one of their midfielders back, and which will be interesting because we've got a big problem with space in the number 10 position because we have Mata coming in, because we have Memphis coming in. And because Rooney, for all his qualities, is not necessarily the best user of space, I think it could get very congested in the middle there. And that's why I'm glad Schweinsteiger's playing, because he uses space as well as anyone I've ever seen.
I love the way Schweinsteiger bosses people around as well. But I also think the thing you say with space in between that midfield and attacking positions, I think Martial gives us that option that I know I've said it before on Full Time Devils and I'm repeating myself, but his movement, his willingness to run behind a defender instead of in front of a defender means that instead of that 5-10 yard space that we had before, it's now 20-30 yards and we've got place to move in. I'm just gutted that Martial coming into that team means Ander Herrera has had to go out. Where do we fit him in, or do we not?
I mean, there's a spot in the side where where he fits, and it's the spot that the captain owns, and he just won't drop
Do you think
his
the captain's
captain.
armband has kind of tied Louis van Gaal's hands a bit?
I mean, it's not that I think it. It's that Van Gaal says it over and over and over again. There's just, as soon as Rooney was made the captain, he was going to.
Do you know? But do you think it would have changed that decision if?
Yeah, surely. There's. If you look at how ruthless he is about performance levels, surely we could all agree, even the biggest Rooney fans could agree, that there have been times in the Van Gaal era where Rooney could have done with a game or two out.
And do you think Wayne Rooney's playing well now? I asked this, I'm not a person that gets on Wayne Rooney's back. Since that transfer request in 2011, and yes, it was a transfer request in 2011. The 2013 one might not have been, but that one in 2011 most definitely was. Since that transfer request, I feel that if Wayne Rooney embraced the fans a little bit more, he would be regarded higher. But at the same time, I understand that Wayne Rooney isn't always pulling his weight.
See, my issue with Rooney is never about the fandom side of it. It's never about the transfer request or transfer requests, depending on the story. It's always about performance, and he clearly gives something to the team that other people don't give to the team. He's absolutely beloved by his fellow pros.
Because we miss him when he's not there.
This seems to be the case, but there are often times where you think, actually, this team functions better if you have someone in that number 10 space who's a more natural fit for catching short passes, knocking the ball in behind, which is not Rooney's game. However, he has scored an awful lot of goals already this season.
5?
Yeah, and so, you know, he's Wayne Rooney, and he's going to break our record. And I just think the Herrera question, I think you could argue that there's a place for him in the side if you drop Rooney. That's not going to happen, and I definitely wouldn't advocate dropping Anthony Martial for anything.
Would Wayne Rooney start for Manchester United week in, week out if he was not the captain?
I mean, I don't think anyone would say that he would. Not week in, week out in the same way. He would still start very many games, and but I think there'd be a bit more flexibility. But I don't think that means we have to stop him being a captain, because if you listen to the way other players talk about Rooney, it's with the highest of regard.
Something I'm really looking forward to as well. This is a strange one to throw in the mix of a match preview. But I'm looking forward to that documentary, Gary Lineker.
Oh,
because
yeah.
it gives an insight into the behind the scenes Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
The Wayne Rooney that we don't get to see.
Yeah.
Now, in my opinion, Wayne Rooney on the pitch, fantastic. Off the pitch, questionable. He hasn't embraced the fans as much as he should have. But we don't know an awful lot about Wayne Rooney apart from what we hear in the press. And it's not always positive, is it? So I am looking forward to that. Strange one. Anyway, moving back to the game. This man, what's your prediction?
Anthony Martial to do with Robin Lewandowski last night.
His name's Robert, not Robin.
Robert, whatever his name is.
How many goals are you going to get?
3.
Are we going to win tonight? What's the score?
3-0.
Yeah? Alright, thank you for that, Will. Paul?
Hello.
What's the score going to be?
I think it's going to be 3-1 to us, but that is pretty much massive optimism because Old Trafford's around the corner. If you'd asked me yesterday, I'd have said it's going to be a very tricky game, and sadly we desperately need a win because we could really do with the draw being a good result here, but it's not.
I am confident Manchester United will win today. 2-0 I'm going for. Just to confirm that team, in case you haven't heard it yet, David De Gea in goal, Valencia, Darmian as our fullbacks, Darmian continuing at left back again, Smalling and Blind at the heart of our defence. Then we've got Schneiderlin, Schweinsteiger, that's midfield in the middle. Mirror? I would look at him in the mirror all day as well. And then we got Memphis, Mata, Rooney and Anthony Martial up the top. You know what? Hang on, I know we're about to wrap this up, but I want to ask one more question. Go on.
Wilson on the bench.
James Wilson on the bench.
I think he's going to come on for Martial and score an absolute 30.
You just said it was going to be 3-0 and Martial was going to get a hat-trick, so 4-0 now.
4-0.
Alright. We're going to wrap it up now, of course, but what I wanted to say was, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, we're going to win today. Manchester United are going to go through eventually, but we should beat Wolfsburg today. They're missing Gustavo in the middle. Manchester United team, midfield, the only change from the team at the weekend. Guys, we'll have our usual match day coverage for you. So make sure you check us out on Snapchat, FT Devils, Instagram, FullTimeDEVILS, Twitter, Full-Time Devils. Facebook, Full-Time Devils. Paul at United Rantcast. Check him out as well. There's some great work with them. William, you know who he is.
Me,
anyway,
William
guys.
MUFC.
Shut up. Anyway, guys, I'm Adam McCullough.
Best Twitter
We're out of here.
account. Best Twitter account on Twitter.
You don't even tweet your dad, though.